Hello, everyone, and welcome to I'ma Say It. I'm Brandon, and I'ma say it this morning. I hate, and I mean I hate this, and every athlete goes through this. I hate playing my opponent and having to play the refs too. Now, that's not the reason the Niners lost, okay? I went 0-2 in my picks this week. It's cool. I'm going to own it. I think the hardest week to get through is that first week, because if you mess that first week up, it messes up your whole bracket. And I was perfect on that first week. Even got the upset with the Giants beating Minnesota. And Joe Burrow had a chance last night to win the game, and he didn't come through. And the Eagles had to play, or the Niners had to play without Brock Purdy. That's pretty bad when you go like your next quarterback up is Christian McCaffrey. And I'm not saying that he couldn't play quarterback. I wish that they would have tried. I wish they'd have done something besides let Brock Purdy just hand the ball off or try these trick run plays. Let's just see if we can get them off. Uh, Man, this is the NFC Championship, and I know you're banged up. I know you're hurt. At this time, I don't. There's no excuses. There's no excuses. I picked wrong. Um, but that Devontae Smith not catch that was crucial. They don't score right there. They punt the ball. Maybe Brock Purdy doesn't go hurt. I said you're gonna have to make Brock Purdy beat you with his legs, and that run game's gonna have to beat you. They about did. It was close for a while. It was close until it wasn't. It was a really good. It was a really good battle. Good job to the Eagles. Congratulations, Eagles and Chiefs, on making it to the Super Bowl. Congratulations, Patrick Mahomes, on making it again. I didn't think he was going to do it. Uh, I see too many people fall to the hype. So congratulations to both Jalen Hurts and to Patrick Mahomes for being quarterbacks to teams that are going to Super Bowl. I like Andy Reid and Nick Sirianni really. Uh, I can't say a bad thing about either one of them. I think they're two really good coaches that I'd like to learn from. Uh, Andy Reid's been doing this a long time, and so seeing Nick Sirianni come in there and Jalen Hurts take over and everything the Eagles have done over the course of the last couple of years, good job to them. I know Acho and Shady are going off right now. I haven't listened to them in a while, but I'm sure they are probably fanatic right now about their team being in the Super Bowl. So congratulations on them on making it. Uh, Before we talk about what happened in the Chiefs Bengals game last night, I want to talk about Brock Purdy going down. Eagles got lucky, I think. Having to play the refs and the Eagles makes it tough, especially when your third string quarterback goes down, then your fourth string quarterback goes down, and you just don't prepare for four quarterbacks to go down in a season. I don't think I have ever seen that in my life. I'm not saying it's never happened. I'm sure you history guys can go back and probably show me 6 different years where that's happened. Another thing that I didn't fact check this morning that I've been thinking about was I don't think I've ever seen two number ones before this year going to the Super Bowl. I think every time I've ever seen it, it's been a team come out of nowhere. Like I mean, maybe the Eagles won. I think the Eagles were number one in their division when they went the first time. I mean, they had to have been. They had to have beaten the Cowboys. But I don't know where they were first in the NFC. I don't think they would have been first in the NFC. Maybe they were. I don't know. Really didn't look up any of those stats. Maybe I should have. Uh, but I don't remember ever seeing two number ones make it. Um, I'm pretty sure I've never even seen it in basketball, like in the March Madness Final Four. And if I have, I really don't remember. I think that'd be. I think it's special to see two number ones going at it at the Super Bowl. I mean, really, ideally, that's what you want to see anyway. So I'm excited for what the Super Bowl is going to be. But I feel like the Niners got cheated having the and that was really good defensive play. But if I'm not mistaken, that was a third down call on that Devontae Smith catch. If I'm not mistaken, it was like third and 9, third and 7. It was third and long, and they didn't connect, and it was called, and they scored a touchdown. Which they did a great job on the ground yesterday. That's what I said. I mean, you got to be able to stop the run. Both sides are going to have to be able to stop the run. I'll tell you what I did see yesterday from all four teams. Uh, well, at least three of the four teams. Cincinnati gave up a lot of sacks last night, but way too many. I know it's not 11, but damn. I saw really good offensive line play. I saw really good defensive line play. The lines yesterday. I was actually looking at the lines yesterday, not just the skill guys. And man, I saw some really good line play. But speaking of linemen, Trent Williams, you bonehead. Uh, I mean, I know his season's done. I don't know. I'm sure there's probably gonna be a fine. Trent Williams, you bonehead. That was a bonehead move. Uh, he just got caught up in the moment. Emotions got the best of him. I mean, it happens. I don't think he should be fined at all. I don't think he should be suspended. I don't even think he should have got ejected. That was a very hard fought game on both sides. Both benches cleared. Uh, Somebody's got to take the punishment, I guess. But Trey Williams, at the end of that play, uh, I mean, he showed he ain't gonna be manhandled for sure. So I respect the guy. I like the guy. I just talked about him the other day on here. About how he's a really good left tackle, and people don't understand that about him. Everybody from OU just says, "Oh, he's just a really good. He's from OU," and he is. He did go to OU, and that is the truth. I mean, you can't. I just think that's a horrible argument. He's like you just watch his play, and he's just that much better than everybody else, and uh, we couldn't tell on on Sunday. I mean, that was. I felt bad for the Niners. Not being able to play Brock Purdy not being able to throw. Then the fourth quarterback went down, and I mean that's just part of football. That is what it is. So Eagles, congratulations. I mean you got Mahomes coming up in the Super Bowl. I mean that's really hurts. I really want to see where you're at. I'm not ready to make a prediction yet. I know who I want to win. I want the Eagles to win. At this point, I want the NFC to win. I don't know if that's who I'm actually picking. Uh, I really want to look a little closer at this. I haven't. I quit listening to all my shows really, so I've gotten to the point now where I'm not listening to what anybody else is saying. These are actually my takes. These are actually coming from me, which is a little like which I think is different and special. Like I said, I listened to Skip Bayless the other day, but it was like a Thursday. I listened to a Monday podcast. Simply because I just want to hear what he had to say about the Cowboys. One thing Skip and I have in common is we love the Dallas Cowboys. He's probably a little bigger fan of a bigger fan than I am. Uh, but I'm a pretty big fan myself, so I do love me some Cowboys. So I'm definitely rooting for the Eagles because they come out of my division. We already got beat by them once. Hopefully that loss shows that they're just a better team. And so we finally made it through the first round. Now it's time to get back to the championship. And I heard they got rid of Kellen Moore. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not where I thought they was gonna do. Kellen Moore is not the one that I thought they was gonna lose his job. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have lost his job. I actually like him as an offensive play caller. I think he's aggressive. I don't think he's as aggressive as I would like him to be. I think he could get more aggressive, but he's definitely more aggressive than what we've had. I really think it should have been Mike McCarthy to go. Maybe he is the guru. Maybe he was a guru up in Green Bay. Maybe he's the guru down here, and he just doesn't get enough credit or enough responsibility. Maybe this will be better for him. I don't know. But what I've seen from Mike McCarthy the last couple years, hell, even his last few years up in Green Bay, I'm not really impressed. I'm just not. It's not that impressive to me. I'll tell you who I was impressed with last night, though. Joseph Asai out of Texas. Boy, that boy was all over the field yesterday. So I saw a Texas boy getting it done. They fell short. The Bengals fell short. That was a really good game last night, that Kansas City Bengals game. And I think there were some bad calls, but I thought there was some bad calls on both sides. And sometimes, I mean, when you get a penalty, that Joseph Asai penalty at the end of the towards the end that helped put them in better field goal range, that was a bonehead move. That play right there, actually, I think cost you the game. He was already giving up, going out of bounds. I mean, I know. So I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna defend some of these late hit out of bound calls. Okay, and it's our fault. we implemented these rules on the quarterback, and I watched Burrow do it yesterday. Uh, and so now it's I don't know. I don't know if you call it a veteran move. I don't know if you call it a sneaky move. I don't know if you call it a um oh shit. I mean, really, it's an unfair advantage for the quarterback. It's for the quarterback. You know what I mean? And it's unfair. It's kind of an unfair advantage. Joe Burrow last night when he was running down the field, uh, did this little move like he looked like he was gonna go down, and then he juked him out, and the defender got caught standing. Well, he's like, well, if he goes down, I don't want to hit him. I don't want to take the extra. I don't want to give him the extra 15 yards. But then he doesn't go down. He fakes you, and he goes down and he gets another. He got I think what he got like 14 runs out of that, 14 or 16 yards out of that play. Uh, and really he had him kind of dead to rights about 8 9 yards up, or 8 9 yards from where the line of scrimmage. Uh, he might have stopped him from getting that first down, or it might have been a little closer, or whatever. But that's kind of an unfair advantage for the quarterbacks. Pretending you're going to go down and not going down, or pretending you're going to go out of bounds and then juke back out. And I mean, you've got to play the play all the way through. I mean, really, you need to put your hands on him anyway. And I don't mean put your hands on him, beat him up, push him down. I mean put your hands on him, like wrap him up, and be like, okay, what do we do? But you don't really have time to have that conversation. Okay, are you going out of bounds, or? But usually, I'm going down, I'm down, I'm down, I'm down, I'm down, and then you can hold him right there, and maybe the ref will blow the whistle. I don't know. But like, I remember being in dog piles, running the ball or whatever, and you know, get stood up, and I'm starting to move backwards. Okay, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done, I'm done. We try not to get. We're out here playing. We're not even supposed to be. Coach Watkins had a very strict rule when it came to football. If it was outside of practice, it was not allowed. So, of course we played. Duh. Who doesn't? But we wanted to be safe about it. I mean, we kind of had this. Okay. And to be honest with you, I see a lot of quarterbacks being that way. This world has gotten just so. And I was listening to people talk about this the other day too. I heard it watching a TV show last night, and that '90s show. It's kind of all in all of our subliminal messaging about how soft this world has gotten. Uh, my mom sent me a TikTok last night about how she was raised differently because if we were raised in that time, we wouldn't have made it. Half the shit that my mom went through is now illegal. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I think growing up the way I did, I think every child should have to grow up the way I did. I don't feel like I'm in a bad spot. I don't feel emotionally unhealthy. I don't feel uh I don't feel any kind of like I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't have the problem that these kids have today. Like if you wanted to talk shit in my day, you had to do it face to face. You know what I mean? Like yeah, we had landlines, but we played outside. Like we fucking played outside. Like my rule was I had to be home for dinner. I had to be within an earshot of a whistle, which my mom whistled loud. So like I could hear my mom, and I swear to God, if she does it every time we'll go places, and she does it, she shows my wife, and she still has me trained. It's crazy because I'm trained like a dog. My mom has me trained like a dog. I hear a whistle. But when the street lights came on, it was too dark. I had to come home. All right, hey, mom, when the street lights come on, if I'm playing a sport, listen, I'm gonna be home in just moments. Like as soon as the street lights come on, I'm headed home. So if it takes me a couple minutes, and my mom was cool with it. We had that good communication. She was cool with it. Okay, I understand. You might be down at the park. You down at the park, you can still hear me whistle. Cause I could hear my mom whistle for blocks. And so we always played outside. From little league, from little grade school all the way up. Living at my grandma Jerry's house. I was always outside. I came home for dinner, and I came home when the lights came on. I was out playing, and it didn't matter what sport we was playing. One day I'd be playing tennis, one day I'd be playing golf. Well, that's what we did as kids. And so I'm really getting sick of defenses getting punished. I told you all that to go on this. I'm really sick on defenses getting punished for the quarterback. That's not fair. Quarterback has a lousy play and the defense gets punished for it. That's bull. We need to get rid of that. Like that needs to go. So that's my piece on it. So but Joseph aside that he did give himself up. He had 2 feet out of bounds. That was a frustration penalty, not so much a bonehead move. But I'm gonna justify it in that sense. Uh, but man, you can't. You gotta. Yeah, he got the first down. Okay, now we got 3 more downs to stop them. They don't have any timeouts. We got to run the clock, make them take a field goal with no timeouts. Maybe they run into a clock issue. We go into overtime. Instead, they kick the field goal. You win. They win, and they're going to Super Bowl, and you're going home. That was an incredible game last night. I enjoyed the shit out of that game last night, the Chiefs Bengals game. It was a nail biter all the way through. And there for a minute, it looked pretty ugly. I thought it was going to get lopsided for a minute. So the Bengals had some fight in them. I do think the Bengals got screwed. Not because I got the pick wrong. There was some plays from the referees that were definitely in the favor of Kansas City. And I understand it's loud, but holy crap, man. So they did a good job fighting Kansas City, fighting them off, and Kansas City got the win. And good job to Andy Reid and them guys. And I do feel like the Eagles win was bought. And I'm gonna be honest about something about now that I said that. So I don't know if paying refs is actually a thing. I mean, I know my high school, like, we paid them to officiate our games. Okay, so I'm assuming that's how the league works. Like the Bengals, when they have a home game, they're gonna pay the referees that are there. I'm gonna assume that's how it was. The only reason I know that my school was like that is because I got close with my coach, and we talked baseball on and off the field, on the and off the field baseball, not baseball, just on and off the field baseball. Um, so like I got to experience some things with that, but damn man, the Eagles game. The only other game I have ever said was bought was Game 4, Golden State Cleveland. Uh, that was a bullshit game. LeBron, glad he was player of that game. Whatever. You got swept, and I don't care. I know what the stats say, and this is why I say numbers lie. Dude got swept. Y'all got straight up beat, and they was whooping y'all that game. That's why the refs. Golden State didn't play Cleveland. They played the refs. And go back and watch that. Don't believe me? Go back and watch it. I'm not a Cleveland fan. I'm not a LeBron fan. Great. So you can understand. Go watch it. I'm telling you right now. I'm not saying that LeBron is not a great scorer. I think he's a big bully. I've said it in a lot of my podcasts. I have no shame in what I say. I think he's a big bully. He's not a bad player. He's a really good player. He's just really freaking big. He's a big bully. Stop him. Like I've seen lately that the hacky shack strategy doesn't work for LeBron. They're not giving LeBron the calls. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to feel like the refs don't want to see him break Kareem's record. Yeah, it's starting to look like that. But I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm not creating controversies. I don't need anybody sitting there saying, well, Brandon said this, and I think this is what it... No. That's my own opinion. There is no factual evidence there. It's just my own opinion about how I feel about a player. Um, and just reading some of the news highlights. I do follow football religiously. Uh, like I said, I want to follow basketball. I don't have a way to watch basketball right now, so it's been kind of hard to follow up with them. Basically, I get to read the articles. So it just an article came out about LeBron getting fouled, and I saw a highlight with LeBron getting fouled. Looked like he got fouled pretty hard, and I went to the other way. So I'm just calling what little I have seen. So I don't know how much that plays into it, but what little I have seen, that's what I've seen. Chris Jones played out of his mind last night. I thought Chris Jones had a good game. Marquez Valdez Scantling had a really good game. I said that the receiving core in Cincinnati, and I think honestly, and this is opinion. I think Burrow is the better quarterback than Mahomes. Um, Mahomes gets a lot of free range, and he gets to have, I think, a little more fun. It's not as I'm not saying Joe Burrow's not having fun. I just think it's a little more schoolyard with Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City offense. So I think he gets to. He doesn't have quite the limitations as some players do, and I think that allows him to show off his greatness. And I'm not saying that he's not great. He's really good. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow for hopefully a long time. Uh, I don't take back what I said about Josh Allen. I don't think he's ever going to get you there. I could be wrong. Justin Herbert too. Uh, but Joe Burrow is definitely better than Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. And so I'm gonna sit there and I'm not gonna sit there and tell you that if you don't match up to those guys, like you need to be looking for a quarterback. If you don't have somebody that can go and beat them consistently, you need to be looking for a quarterback. And I don't think Josh Allen's gonna be able to do that. I don't think he's gonna be able to beat Mahomes and Burrow both consistently. Um, and so I think you got a really good time. I think they're going to be competitive. Uh, Buffalo's really going to need to have to work on their run game, and I like Devin Singletary and what's Dalvin Cook's brother's name? Plays for Buffalo. Anyway, his last name's Cook too, but I think Cook is really good. I think that should be the number one. Devin Singletary, I think he's done. Uh, I think he's just used up, and that's the thing about running backs. Running backs don't have a shelf life. It's not very long. The shelf life of a running back isn't very long. Uh, they get beat up too much. I mean, they're just especially like Derrick Henry, and that's the crazy thing. That's what people don't understand about Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith did it for so long. Uh, but if you look at Dallas's other quarterbacks or anybody else's other quarterbacks, LaDainian Tomlinson did it for a while. Adrian Peterson's. I mean, he's still, if I'm not mistaken, he's still in the league somewhere. He's still doing it. Which Adrian Peterson's an anomaly. These guys are anomalies. If you look at other running backs, they just don't last very long. Uh, Zeke's probably getting close to his retirement. Uh, Devin Singletary, I think he's probably getting close to his. He's getting closer to his. And maybe he just needs another team. I don't know if it just doesn't work in Buffalo. Maybe they ain't blocking for him. I don't know. Because I liked him one year, and then the next year it's like he just fell off. Maybe they just watch film on him and they see what he's going to do, and he's just not that good anymore. Maybe the defense just got better. But I think the Bills got a long way to go to be able to catch up to Mahomes and Burrow. And I thought it was pretty cool. We got to see a rematch of last year's. Everybody keeps talking about this uh, Buffalo Kansas City rematch, and I'm like, nah, man, show me that Bengal Kansas City rematch. I mean, go do it twice. So good job, Patrick Mahomes, getting that win last night. Man, if that's, I think. Well, they're like, what about this rivalry? I heard somebody saying, well, it's not a rivalry if like only one team's won. And I agree. So good job, Kansas City, making it a rivalry now. That's gonna be the one that's gonna be fun to watch. We're back to having Brady and Manning, uh, which is cool. That's another cool thing about Tom Brady. Now that I just thought about that, this is a kind of weird random tangent, but Tom Brady, it used to be Tom Brady and then Peyton Manning. Then it was Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. So that's kind of cool if you think about it to uh to have gone that long and to be in two different generations. You know what I mean? And like he won a couple years ago in the first year he was in Tampa. And so I think Tom Brady still got it in him. I'm not sold Tom Brady's done. I'm not. But it's kind of cool to see that 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 progression. That's a unique experience. I remember when Tom Brady came in for Drew Bledsoe and everything turned out the way it did. It was weird. Really, it was weird. It was weird then. It's weird now. It's really weird now thinking about the last 20 years of just seeing Tom Brady and imagining a game without Tom Brady, um, because it's just been so long. So that was a weird random tangent. Sorry I went down that path, but I got to thinking about it, and so to see the Mahomes Brady era, even though it was short lived, um, that's pretty cool. Really, it's pretty cool. Um, and I guess I just never really looked at it that way. But it's gonna be weird seeing Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady not in the game. And I remember when Aaron Rodgers came in, I was like, can this dude even play? Uh, and I've been sold on it ever since I first watched him. So I'm gonna duke and ball out. Uh, I thought he was gonna be the next Tom Brady, uh, but clearly he's not. So Jalen Hurts is a beast, and I am sick of everybody in Oklahoma telling me that he's an Oklahoma boy. Oh my freaking goodness. He's not an Oklahoma boy. He might have graduated from Oklahoma. He might have got drafted from Oklahoma, but he is not from Oklahoma. He is from Alabama. That is Nick Saban's kid. He has a national championship in Alabama. He is a national champion because of Alabama, and he is Nick Saban's kid. Lincoln Riley was blessed to play with him, or blessed to coach him. He got a Heisman out of the deal. He got the first round draft, and he did like Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, right? And Stoops hands him the keys and says, "Hey, here's the keys to the kingdom. You're gonna make you a nice career, right? Thank you, Bob Stoops." Lincoln Riley says, "Fuck you." Lincoln Riley owes Bob Stoops an apology. That's what I want to hear. I don't care if he apologizes to any other OU person in the world. I don't care. He owes Bob Stoops an apology, straight up. And if Bob Stoops knew about it, I don't want to know. Because I got a lot of respect for Bob Stoops. Won the championship with Josh Heupel in 2000. And he's a good dude on and off the field. Um, I grew up in a boys' home from the time I was 13 to 17. And that's a long story. I'm not going to get into that. But OU actually did some things for the boys' home that I grew up in. And we got tickets donated to us, and we got to go see a couple games. And it was pretty cool. And so I got to meet Bob Stoops, and he was just a really nice dude. And he's been a good dude from what I've seen on and off the field. And so, Lincoln Riley, you owe Bob Stoops an apology. You fucked him. You may not think you did, but you did. But I wish Lincoln Riley and Oklahoma would quit getting credit for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is an Alabama boy. He has a national championship in Alabama. That is the end of my argument. That's all that needs to be said. And Jalen Hurts can claim to be wherever the hell he wants to be from. If he wants to claim that he's an OU grad and wants to say he's from OU and whatever, good for him. He can say it. Y'all can't. Jalen Hurts can say it. Y'all can't. Dead serious about it. Because he did. He spent most of his career down in Alabama. I'm glad that he got a chance to lose with OU in a bowl. Because that's what they do. That's what OU does. They make it to the show to lose. So, that's what all the Big 12 teams do. All four teams are good at getting to the Final Four. All Big 12 teams can get to. There's a Big 12 team that has been in the Final Four the whole time it's been around. An SEC team and a Big 12 team have been in the Final Four every year it's been done. The Big 12, they got offense, they can get there. They don't have defense, they can't stop nobody. Why? I can't wait to see Texas. Oh, That's another thing I want to talk about. This Texas OSU game or OSU OU game. Bedlam. Bedlam. Bedlam's important. Okay. I'm not from Michigan. I don't live in Michigan. I got a couple buddies from Michigan actually. I got several buddies from Michigan actually. Um, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna knock on the Ohio State Michigan game. Okay. I'm not gonna tell you which is better, Red River or Michigan Ohio State. I know it's probably different in different parts of the country than where I've been. Uh, I went back home to Vegas and I said put on the Red River and they were like, "What?" And I was like, "No, we're watching the Red River." Which comes on like early in the morning on the West Coast. And so I mean, everybody knows the Michigan Ohio State game, so you could probably say it's bigger than OU Texas. I don't think it's bigger than OU Texas. The Red River, if you're in this part of the country, the Red River is it. But let me tell you something about Oklahoma. If you're in Oklahoma, Bedlam is madness. And I can't compare it to or I can't compare it to Michigan Ohio State, but I will compare it to Michigan State. And although I like to watch that team, I like to watch that game. The game I always make sure I tune in for. There's two games a year that I tune in for, no matter what. No matter what, I tune into these two games. It's the Red River and Bedlam. Uh, Obviously, I'm a Texas fan, so I'm rooting for OSU during Bedlam. Go Pokes, one time a year. Other than that, I don't want to hear pistols firing. What an experience that would be. I would really like to go to OSU, Texas. That would be really, really cool. But I haven't gotten to go and to a game there. But I've been to OU, and OU is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy down there in Norman. I'm not gonna lie about it. It's pretty nuts down there in Norman. And we had a good, I lived in Norman, and we had a good time down there. Still hook 'em horns. I'll tell you why I'm a Texas fan. For those who are like, man, this guy just says, why is he long? He lives in Oklahoma. Okay, Roger Clemens. I'm gonna be honest. And then he went to the Yankees. I hated him. Right? And pitched for the Red Sox for a while. I'm a big Red Sox fan. But Roger Clemens played at Texas. I wanted to play for Texas. Really, I thought I was gonna get drafted out of high school. That was my goal as a kid. I should have worked a little harder, I guess. But that's neither here nor there. Texas has a better baseball school, I think. I like Texas. I like living down there. I lived in Fort Worth. Lived all over Texas actually. But um, I love Texas. Texas is one of my favorite states to be in, and I don't care what y'all say. You have your own opinion. I have mine. But there's more to do in Dallas than there is to do in Oklahoma City. I don't care what any of y'all say. That's my final point. But so I am a Longhorn fan because of baseball and because that's the school I wanted to go to. That's the school I'm excited about what's coming up, just in sports in general. Uh, we've had over this past year a lot of crazy events, and I watched a special last night with Ice Cube, Cat Williams, not Ice Cube, I'm sorry, Snoop Dogg, Cat Williams. I don't know. I've been thinking about the NWA all morning. Uh, I like rap and hip hop. I don't know if y'all know that about me or not. Um, I've gotten really big into it over the last couple of years. Um, but I didn't really like it as a kid. I liked rock as a kid. But rap's really hit more at home with me, and so I'm glad I discovered it. Uh, so I listened. I actually discovered it watching that movie Straight Outta Compton. Um, and so that's what got me into hip hop. That's being real. That's what got me into hip hop. I watched Straight Outta Compton, and I was like, wait a minute, I want to see what these guys are talking about. And I've watched all these movies. You know what I mean? Um, so But it's been crazy. They're on that show last night. Uh, uh, I found out I found out cornhole is a like you can be a professional cornhole player, and I really need to figure out how to do that because I'm really good at that game. Like it's crazy to me some of the professional sports that are coming out, and I think it's awesome. Like I do. Me and my buddy J-Bo, it made us better at baseball. It made us better at a lot of things. We uh we played at the Oklahoma Sports Museum all the time. They had a batting cage. I say we played. Okay, when we were not in the batting cage, we were professionals all get out. Like we were quiet as a mouse. But in the cage, we would shut the door and we'd get loud. And it was cool because basically it was like one whole building to itself. Um, this is before we added the coaches uh, Hall of Fame in there. It's before it became a Warren Spahn Award showroom. Like when this was a batting cage, like I'm telling you, I was there at the beginning of this museum, and if you go in there now, which is it's located in Guthrie, it's if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 115 or 114, somewhere between 113 and 115 West Oklahoma Street in Guthrie, and the phone number is 260-1432, and you can call down there and get directions. But when I went into the sports museum for the very first time, they had a batting cage in there, and it was a very, very small museum. Coach Hendricks started this whole thing, and me and J-Bo used to get buckets. Coach had a bunch of buckets like had baseballs in it and stuff. There used to be players come in and out of there all the time. Like that's how I got so close to Fergie. Fergie was in there almost like at one point. Fergie was in there on a daily, and so I got to get real close to Fergie and get to know Fergie, and Fergie got to watch me grow up, and so that's how my relationship with Fergie came about. And so, but me and J-Bo, we used to get buckets and we'd play like stupid ass games. Like we'd have like a, I remember going to a Red Hawks game. We had this little bitty Red Hawks bat, and I mean it probably wasn't 15 inches long, right? Throwing tennis balls at each other, hitting it with that wooden bat, and picking spots in the batting cage that were bases, right? So he'd pitch. You got 3 outs, just like normal baseball. If you hit it over the machine and it hit the back net, it was a home run. If you hit the top of the net, it was a pop out. So we came up with all these like wild and wacky. I'm telling you all this uh, to wrap it up back to this. I promise I'm getting back to somewhere. So seeing shit like cornhole, uh, I don't know. I'm sure professional horseshoes has been a thing for a while. A horseshoe's been around forever. I'm sure there's a professional league at that. I know professional bowling and professional pool's been around for a while. Uh, I watched a documentary the other day on how the UFC was made, and that was a pretty cool deal. That was a pretty cool deal to watch. I watched that with my father-in-law, and my father-in-law is really big into fighting. And as soon as I can make a success out of this podcast, which I've been pretty successful at it, thank you to all my listeners, really. But I keep trying to get him on the podcast, talk about fighting and stuff, because he knows a lot about fighting, and I don't really know that much. I used to watch the UFC way back when Country Nelson and Anderson Silva, Kimbo Slice, uh, towards the end of Chuck Liddell's career is when I started watching the UFC. And then I got out of it. I got out of it almost as fast as I got in it. Just being real. I like UFC. I like watching the fights. I like watching boxing. I do. It's not that I have anything against the sport. I like the sport. Uh, I just I don't know. I don't know why I never got into it. Um, and there's a fight on. Like I'll turn it on. I'll watch it for a while. Um, last few boxing matches I've watched have been boring. Um, I like boxing a lot, but I don't like I said it before. I don't like defensive battles. Like I don't want to see who can duck the most, dodge the most. I want to see who can get in there and slug it out. Like I want to see two guys wear each other out. And you see it in the UFC more than you see it in boxing. Of course, I watch the Mayweather Pacquiao fights, and I had to watch the one with McGregor. That was pathetic. Uh, sorry, Connor. Uh, it's not that you can't whoop me. That was pathetic. Now, if you were to reverse the role, could Mayweather beat? Uh, could Mayweather beat him? If you're mixing mixed martial arts, uh, boxers are usually pretty scrappy, and I don't care if you've ever wrestled before or not. I actually did wrestle in junior high. I wasn't very good at it. I'd never done it, and these kids have been doing it for a long time. But I will say this, like, it didn't take me long to catch on and and be defensive with it. And I know I hate defensive battles, which is funny because I love defense on football. Um, like I pay more attention to the defensive backs when I watch football than I do anything else, and I need to get better at watching the game in its entirety. Um, I just don't have. I don't even have a way to like stop, like fast forward and record, like fast forward and rewind the channels I watch. So the only thing I really watch on TV anyway is football. I stay pretty busy myself. I stay pretty active, so I'm getting better at that. But defend like I just it's so slow and boring. I watch hockey. My son got to go to his first hockey game, and I was mad. I was mad I didn't get to go. I got invited to go. I could have went. Uh, actually, I had a headache. I had a massive headache. I ended up falling asleep, and it woke me up, and I still had a headache, and so I ended up not going. But my son went. And he had a really good time, and he went with my father-in-law as well, and they had a really good time. Uh, just enjoying the game. And he's like, man, I went there and so many fights broke out. And I was like, I know, right? And he's like, I didn't know that happened. He's like, they don't ever show that on TV. I was like, sometimes they do. And so I got my son into hockey. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty fun for me. I'm a big Red Wings fan, but I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm glad that ESPN. I have ESPN Plus, and I'm glad that they're showing hockey on there because I get to watch a period or so hockey. It reminds me of soccer on ice with sticks. And I'm not a big soccer fan. And so the back and forth, back and forth. I want to see goals. I want to see shots. Like one team needs to go take a shot, the other team needs to go and take a shot. Uh, I think that's probably why I'm more like. And I know everybody gets a chance, uh, but it just seems like one team has the puck the whole game. And the team with the puck the whole game is usually the team that wins. It's usually the team that has the most shots. Usually, and I'm not saying always. In fact, I watched the Red Wings game the other day. They won, and it ended up being a pretty high scoring game. I don't remember what the score was, but they started off. The other team had the puck almost the entire time. And like in the third period, I leave and I come back and it's like 5-2 or something, and I'm like, God dang. And so I'm not saying hockey, like the team that has the puck most always wins. I mean, it's like baseball or anything else. There's just because you have the most hits doesn't mean you have the most runs. You know what I mean? Um, that is very few and far between. I've seen it happen a couple times, but very rarely have I seen that happen. If I do, it's usually a high scoring game. Like one team had 11 hits, 4 runs. One team had 7 hits, 5 runs. But most of the time, you can look at the scoreboard and you can look at turnovers, you can look at hits, and you can look at uh, the shot percentage, and I can usually dictate who won the game just off of those stats alone. But not always. I mean, like I said, Trevor Lawrence threw 4 interceptions. They lost the turnover battle. He ended up winning the game. There's anomalies everywhere. The sports is nothing but anomalies. It's one of the things I love about sports. And people ask me all the time, Brandon, why do you love sports so much? Why do you love sports so much? I can watch 365 days a week the same two teams play football. I can, and I'll enjoy it because every single one of those games is going to be different. Now, depending on how much better the other team is, sure. A lot of times it's going to be blowouts, and when you watch a team beating a team 55-12, that sucks. But if you gave me Kansas City, Cincinnati every week, I would watch that shit every week, every day, every day. I'd watch that game if it was not a replay. If it was actually going out every day, and this is why I think baseball is harder than football. It's not that football is not more physically demanding. It is, but baseball you got to play like what 182 games or something like that. 180 games. Like it's a ridiculous amount of games. And baseball players play every single one of them. They travel, they go, they play, they travel, they go, they play, they travel, and then they got to fit working out and batting practice and everything else in between. I mean, that's why they get paid. That's why they get paid the big bucks. And they're supposed to fail 7 out of 10 times to be considered successful. Well, that's why they get paid the big bucks. So I do think baseball is more physically. I think baseball is harder, but definitely football is more physically demanding. But if I watch the same two teams play every day and it was a different game every day, that's the whole point. It's a different game. It's a different game. If they come out with referees, and I don't care if they travel back and forth, they play in one stadium. Give them a neutral site. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Just don't make me watch all the games in one stadium. That's all I'm asking. Like if you do it, make it it better be a neutral site, and they got to play every day. I don't care. Make it halfway in between them. Shit, make them play in Indianapolis. I don't care. Make them travel to every stadium. I don't care. It's gonna be a different game every time. So the outcomes are gonna be different. Now, I'm not saying that it's not gonna be lopsided when it's over. Cincinnati might beat them more times than Kansas City beat Cincinnati, but it's not going to be 365-0. I promise you. They're not going to beat them if they play them that many times. They're not going to lose 365 times. They're going to battle, and so I did get tired of watching the Broncos play. I felt like this the beginning of the year. Everything I watched was a Broncos game, and I was like, God damn, dude. Quit showing me the freaking Broncos. They suck. They're terrible. And it's not that they suck. The Broncos have a lot of really good players on both offense and defense. Their quarterback's just not what everybody thinks he is. But it's time to change it. You don't like something, change it. You know what I mean? You're not stuck. Now, it might cost you a lot to change it, but you're not stuck. There's always options. There's always options. Man, that's what I was saying about like Buffalo. Like I'm not gonna trade Josh. I'm not gonna trade Josh Allen. He's still gonna win me a lot of games, right? Josh Allen and and Justin Herbert, they're gonna win me some games. Justin Herbert's not gonna win me as much as Josh Allen is, uh, but Josh Allen's gonna win me some games. He's just not gonna be able to take on Mahomes and Burrow. He's not gonna be able to do it. And you're asking Tua to do it? Tua's not the guy. I do like Skylar Thompson. I thought he has a lot of upside coming out of K State. Uh, he can move a little bit. He can throw a little bit. He's a young kid. I think he's gonna be just fine. What I want to know, well, not what I want to know. I want to know what the Niners do. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Brock Purdy got hurt. I'm not moving off of Brock Purdy. I don't need Jimmy Garoppolo. I would like to have him in my locker room as maybe a quarterback coach, maybe having him, you know, because he knows the system really well. He's been with Shanahan for a long time, and so he knows the system. He works well. Garoppolo's gonna win you some games, um, but I'm not moving off of Brock Purdy. But I'm curious to what happened to his arm. Um, I'm for real about this. I think if the Eagles had to play Brock Purdy, they could throw. Uh, if that Devontae Smith catch gets called right and Brock Purdy doesn't get hurt, I think we're talking about a different. I think we're talking about a different Super Bowl. And even we saw Brock Purdy go up against Patrick Mahomes. It's still a good match. That's still something you want to see. Um, that kid especially is talented. He had a chip on his shoulder, had a lot to prove, and he proved it. He proved that he belongs in this league. Trey Lance has proved that all he can do is get injured. So I'm not. I know you had to move the earth and the stars to get Trey Lance, but I think Jimmy G is more of an asset to me than Trey Lance. I don't need a young guy coaching a young guy. Availability is an ability. So I'm moving off of Trey Lance. He might be worth a third rounder now. It's better than getting nothing for him. Something is better than nothing in this situation. Now nothing is sometimes something, but in this situation, something is better than nothing because you had to move a lot. But with the way y'all lost, I don't know C-Mac, but I feel like I know C-Mac because even in Carolina, when they were really wasting his talent, he wasn't obnoxious. He wasn't loud. He wasn't screaming and being disruptive. He still seemed like a really good teammate. Debo Samuel seems like a really good teammate. George Kittle seems like a really fun teammate. I could see these players, Brandon Ayuk, I could see these players taking smaller amounts to make sure that they stay together. Because they definitely have a future with Brock Purdy, and I think he's just going to get better. I think he's got a lot to prove. I think he wants to win, and he played at Iowa State. I mean, I'm not, I'm not gonna knock anybody for their college of choice. I'm coaching with a coach, and he went to Grambling State, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, question for you." He said, "What?" I said, "I saw you went to Grambling State. Uh, did you choose that school, or was that just like an only option for you?" And I didn't mean it offensive to him. It definitely wasn't meant. There was no offense meant. Hey, I didn't get recruited. I went to school. I didn't get recruited. I had to go basically walk on everywhere I went. And so he told me, he said, no, the Grambling State was my first choice. I was as soon as they sent me their letter, he said all the other offers. He said it didn't matter what anybody was offering me at that point. It didn't matter. So I didn't care. I was going. That's where I was going. And so I respect it. If that's where you want to go, and I'm not ever gonna dish your school. But if I want to win a championship, I'm not picking Iowa State. You know what I mean? Um, So for him to stick it out there and fight as hard as they did, because they fought hard. They've always been tough to beat. Their defense is usually pretty good. Um, they play better defense in the Big 12 than in my opinion, in any other team. Uh, I remember them seeing getting beat, but it was very low scores. Like they don't give up. They weren't giving up a whole lot of points. Um, and so I don't know if that was every game or just the games I saw, but I saw them play lights out against OU for sure. For sure. I saw them play lights out against OU a couple times. But OU and OSU, the Bedlam thing, that really needs to stay together. I know that OU and Texas are moving down to the SEC, and they better get better defensively. I know Steve Sarkisian has done a better job on getting Texas defense up and coming. Joseph Asai was all over the place last night, Texas boy. So I mean, there's some guys that can play defense in Texas. We're losing some of our bigger studs, the studs that have been there for a while. So we're gonna be young on defense this year. But we got some vets coming back too, so it's gonna be a good mix, I think. And I think that Texas defense is just gonna get better. I think the recruiting is just gonna get better. I think more defenders are gonna want to come to Texas. And now that we're going to the SEC, I hope everybody just wants to beat Saban. I know I would. If I got an offer to go to an SEC school to come play football, I want to go anywhere that's not Alabama. It wouldn't matter to me as long as we have a chance to beat Nick Saban. I feel like that'd be a rite of passage through the college football. Um, the whole idea would be to keep them out of their own invitational. And I know the college playoff is not really the Nick Saban Invitational. Okay, it just seems like that. It just seems like Nick Saban has been in it every year. It was weird not seeing him in it this year. It was weird not seeing OU in it this year. And had Lincoln Riley not have left, I think OU had a chance to make it. I know their record doesn't show them to be as good as they were. Uh, but if you have a quarterback, I think that changes your game. And they had Caleb Williams, and obviously Caleb Williams wanted to stay with Lincoln Riley. That was Lincoln Riley's recruit. Good job on the Heisman. The guy can coach offense. I'm not saying he can't coach. I'm saying he doesn't coach. He doesn't play defense. He's not a good head coach, and everybody gives him more credit than he deserves. If you can't win the big game, you're getting more credit than you deserve. I don't care what your record is if you don't have a ship. It doesn't matter to me what your record is if you don't have a championship. You're not validated. Dan Marino was a really good ball player, but he's not validated with a championship. Man, that's tough. You know what I mean? That's it for today. I hope y'all had a good time. I know I did. I enjoy sitting here talking to y'all. I know I'm really just talking to myself, but I feel like I'm talking to y'all. I know there's some people that do listen to me, um, and I appreciate it. Really, I do. Because really, at the end of the day, man, the only thing I want to do is I want to see the world full of winners. I don't believe in winning and losing. I don't believe everybody can win. I don't think everybody should be winners. Okay, I think everybody has the option to go out and fight and be winners. Um, so that's what I'm doing. I'm fighting to be a winner. I want to win. I want a W. I want my kids to win. I want my kids to be winners. I want to see players be better on and off the field. That is my mission. That is my purpose. I want to see athletes be better on and off the field. Uh, I'm going back to school to help players financially. A lot of players don't use their money wisely and end up going broke when they're done. And I would like to help just ensure legacies for generations to come. Uh, that really upset me when my daughter couldn't play basketball, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that in your life or not. But man, it made me mad when my daughter couldn't play because the team quit on her. Because she would have showed up to every game. She'd have taken all the other five girls on one, 1-on-5, and she got whooped. You know, she would have got whooped, but she'd have done it anyway because she wanted to play. And heck, five on one. Let me go out there. I won't even shoot. It'll just be all her. I'll make sure that she scores. I'll just set screens. Just kidding. But my daughter would have played, and I felt bad, and I want to change the game for everybody. Not everybody can play sports, okay? And it's okay if you can't. I know a lot of people that are very uncoordinated just can't do it. I've seen people try. I've seen people get hurt. So it's not that you shouldn't try. It's not that you can't try. You should try sports. But if sports aren't for you, it's okay too. I still want you to be a winner. It's up to you to dictate what winning is for you. And what winning is for me is seeing my kids in sports, seeing my kids being around the game for their entire life, because that's why we got into it. And so I want to share the love of the game with y'all, and I want to show y'all that you really can be winners. You can do it. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. I promise. So I appreciate everybody. I'm gonna say it, Pod. Man, get at me. Uh, I really wanted to turn this into a debate show, but it's really hard to debate by myself. So get at me. I'm gonna say it, Pod. TikTok. I'm gonna say it, Pod at gmail.com is my email. But TikTok, Twitter, every kind of social media you can think of, my wife has me on. Uh, by the grace of God and her help, I'm able to do this, and so thank y'all so much. Hit me up, talk to me. Let's figure out let's make this world a better place for everybody. And y'all enjoy your weekend. Y'all enjoy your week, and I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all sometime soon.